to make your program to be up to the standard, okay, using using the latest versions of Solidity, which is at least 0.8 and 0 onward. So that is the reason why under the beginning of the first exercise on last week, I asking you to using the old compiler, After that, moving on to the last week, we are using the old versions of compiler to write this program and understand based on this class diagram or contract diagram how you should going to write your code for that. So then after that, I asked you from the exercise 2 again, from the old versions of Solidity code, changing to become a latest version of Solidity code. So whatever the thing that you encountered, let's say warning message, error message, in your latest version of Solidity, you should go and find from this documentation, right? .solidity language.org, from that things that we're going to give you idea. So as I mentioned, under the version 0.6 and 8 onward, so we need to go and define our license identifier, okay? So this particular license identifier is indicated your smart contract can be established, the source code is available. So make your source code to be legal problem or legal problem with regards for the copyright. So that is the part. So every source file should start with the command indicating the license. So actually they have many licenses. So anyhow, this is the thing that we are using. I'm using for this. Okay. So last week you were able to see that under your 0.8.0, I told you that when we go and create our variable, okay, whatever your variable in whether your variable is a local variable or is a state variable or the variable that you define inside your input parameter or the variable that you're going to define in return, okay, return back to the front end, the return parameter over there. Actually, you must have a knowledge how your variable and data, okay, the storage layout are handled by the Ethereum virtual machine. So this thing has been implementing under a 0.5.0 and above. You need to have a storage and versus a memory. So as I said, memory, if you define your memory location, it means that you temporarily place to store the data inside the memory. So the smart contract can use any amount of memory during the execution. Okay, but once the execution stops, the memory is completely wiped off. Okay, wiped off of this of the next execution. So that we're going to release out. So then the storage will hold the data between the function call. So the storage will hold the data between a function call, and the storage is a precedence of the permanent. Okay, they will permanently keep your data there, and each execution of the smart contract has to access to the data previously stored inside the storage area. So storage data. So as I said, under the state variable and the local variable of the structure, now last week I only mentioned the state variable is by default the state variable. The storage are the one by default. Okay, they will using storage by default. But don't forget that it's a local variable of structure. Mean that same thing, your Java, your C can create a structure. So whatever the local variable of your structure, okay, they're also part under a storage. And same thing for your array. Okay, your array also will be stored inside the storage. Okay, so the function argument. So the function argument over here is referred to your input parameter lah, okay, or your output parameter that is a function argument lah, are in memory. Okay. Whenever a new instance of the array is created by using the keyword memory, so it means that a copy of the variable is created. So when you create an instance of the array, okay, so you using the memory, he just copy a data, okay, he make a copy of this variable, okay, and change. When you go and change the array value in the new instance, does not affect to your original array. So that's why you must be know when you using memory, it means that you copy a data from the array. Okay, you copy the data from the array. Okay, the array actually is a default storage inside your storage over there, permanent store one. But because you created a define as a memory, you make a copy, and then whatever you change, okay, change to the new instance does not affect to your original. So this is the two different data locations, storage and also a memory. So as a programmer, you need to go into define for that. So then there is another location, data location in 0.6.9 and onward. They came up another new core data. So actually this core data is more on a parameter. Okay, so is that? So also is another new data location. So core data is only valid to be used for the parameter of the external contract function, and it's required for this type of the parameter. Core data is referred to a non-modifiable, okay, non-precedence area where the function argument store and behave most likely like a memory, okay, core data. So it's recommended to use the core data because it's avoid an unnecessary copy to ensure the data is unordered, okay? So unchanged, okay? They don't want to be changed. So this one is mentioned about you have a parameter. You define the storage is core data because the data are coming from another contract, okay? From another external contract function. So you avoid, you don't want to change that data. So in this case, you wanted to non-modify it. You need to make sure the data stored inside the location called store data. You want it to be cannot be modified, but it's not permanent inside your storage. Okay, just like a memory like that. So that's why it said that if you have that kind of a situation, your data are passing from another external contract, parameter of external contract function. In this case, you can define it as a core data instead of a memory. So to ensure that the copy of data coming from the external to your internal, to your function, they did not going to change, okay, the data. This is a between function in one contract passing the data to another contract. You may using that. So for the array parameter in a function, it is recommended to use core data over a memory. So another situation here is telling you that we are going to use a core data when there is a array parameter in a function. Is that is provide a significant shift, gas shift. This is wanted to tell you significant gas shift. Okay, this part. Why we need to use a memory instead of why we need to use core data over a memory, because we need to consider a gas charge for the array. So gas charge for the array in a core data will be much more cheaper than a memory. That is a part for that. Okay, now before I asking you to modify your exercise, okay, 1.0, I need to go back to one of the things that related to your exam one. Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to do this exercise, and everyone also will do the exercise that inside this lab. So what I wanted to tell you over here, let me go and import. Let me go let me import my contract first. Sorry, not import my contract. Let me import my wallet inside the MetaMask first, because I wanted to prove something for your guy. Okay. So they're not going to transfer any money, anything already, yeah? Not transferring any money for that, okay? Okay, now. What is the purpose that I jump from here? As I said, this is the old MetaMask. If compared to your new MetaMask interface, it's slightly different. The things that I wanted to emphasize from this past year exam question, okay? Because last week we only focused on when we transfer, you saw that there is a gas fee charged to your account, okay? But still got a student don't know how the gas fee are be involved, okay? So then I go, okay, I open the testnet, I go back to my Symphonia testnet over there, okay? So then this is the money that we have, okay, that I have. Then you saw that the transactions over this side, or this is what I go for the view for my either scan. Okay, now. Okay? So I said that is a transaction fee. So I hope you are understanding this transaction fee with a value here. Okay? Transaction fee and a value. So even though when I go and transfer a money to somebody, so let's say I'm sent, so then any address I have. So for example, I just wanted to show you this one, so over here. So from here, when I say that, okay, I want to be sent for maximum for this one. So when I go for the next year, the students are confused about this total and the amount plus gas fee is equivalent to the transaction fee. The concept is totally wrong, okay? The amount plus the gas fee is not referring to the transaction fee. This figure amount, the total amount that I wanted to, all the money that I transfer or the money that I transfer plus the gas fee is not referring to the transaction fee. Transaction fee is only the gas fee charge, okay? The transaction fee is referred to the gas fee that charge for that. So how to calculate for this, okay? Now, I cancel for this. Now, you were able to see that over here that is called portfolio side over there, okay? Portfolio side over there. So I wanted to let you see the latest transaction fee, okay, connect import. Okay, so if let's say I open a portfolio site, portfolio.metamask.io, I need to connect my account, okay, into this website. So this website actually, what is the purpose? I wanted to connect to the portfolio metamask.io. I wanted to see the latest gas, how much they charge, okay, for that. for that. Huh? Now, I want to link it back to your past year question. I say important for this coming exam also. So I want you to understand transaction fee is different from over this. Hold on. Why the phone run like that? Okay. The lead time. Hold on. Open from pen drive. Okay, that the day I remember I told you this type of question. Okay, new way of asking in your exam. So now about the transaction fee, that is referred to gas limit. Okay, gas limit or gas use multiplied with your base fee, okay, plus is there any priority fee, okay. Now let's use why I look back over that. So look at the current priority, because under the MetaMask you can't see what is the base fee or the priority fee that you have. So but just now I linked it to here, my portfolio MetaMask.io here, you were able to see this side. They will telling you the current base fee, okay, is 15, okay, 15.24. Okay, 15.24 G rate. Okay, so that is the base fee currently in the market. Okay, so then there is a priority fee also. You can see over here there is a different priority based on the real environment. There is a different priority. So if you want to be most faster one to be put at the priority first one, you give the faster one, you need to give 0.30 G rate, average is 0.10 G rate, or you want to be a safe is 0.09 G rate. So you can give a priority fee for that. So example, the faster one here is 0.30 G rate. Okay. So now I teaching you how to do calculations. First thing, I don't want you to confuse that transaction fee is equivalent to value plus the gas fee. No such thing. Transaction fee is not equivalent to not same as value plus gas fee. No. So transaction fee is the entire of your how you calculate your gas fee. The whole thing is So now this is what you can see over this side. So now if you're coming back to your these questions over here. So before we go and calculate for this, I did tell you one either is equivalent to 10 power 18 rate, okay, and one either is equivalent to 10 power 9 G rate. Okay, I told you this thing. So now, based on this question over here, John is going to transfer 0.1 ether to Paul using a wallet. the gas limit for transferring the ether, ETH is, okay, gas limit, that this one, based on the question, it said that there will be a 21,000 unit. So it means that you need to consume the gas is 21,000 unit based on that, okay? So this is the unit. So that's the wallet should show, the wallet show that the current base fee. So based on the current base fee is 10 G rate. So then you need to multiply with 10, okay? The measurement fee is 10 G rate, okay? So then John is willing to pay a tips. The tips here is a priority fee of 2 G rate, okay, for a transaction. It means that he's willing to speed up. Okay? So remember, priority fee is an additional payment which you want to speed up your transaction. Okay? So then here is a 2 G rate. Simple calculation. Okay? Simple calculation is 21,000 multiplied with 12 G rate. Okay? So from here, first question, discuss the purpose of paying the tips, okay, or priority fee by John when transferring the ether to Paul. The reason is you paying the additional fee, additional payment because you wanted to speed up the transactions of the transfer. Okay? So next we are moving on, simple one, not complicated. Next we're moving on to another one. Calculate this one. Calculate the total transaction fee. Remember, the word total transaction fee does not referring to your one ether. This is the value you transfer to Paul. This 0.1 ether is not referred to the transaction fee. You cannot add this 0.1 inside your transaction fee. Can't. Okay? So, incurred for the transaction is that incurred in the transactions of 0.1 ether. Show your calculation step and express your transaction fee in a ether. Do not want to have a G rate. You don't want to show in a G rate. Okay? So that's why over this side, let me do a calculation first. So that's why over here I do not added 0.1 ether, no such thing. Okay, no such thing. That is a value for a call to receive. It's not a transaction fee. Please understanding the transaction fee does not involve value. So now 2100 okay, multiplied by 12. Okay, so the answer will be 2, not answer yet, 252,000. This is a G rate. Okay, this is a G rate. But the question here you want to have in ether. So G rate is they have a possessions of power by 10 power by 9. So where is your decimal value? Your decimal value is over here. Okay? So to me make my life easy is I'm moving my decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it means that I have a 0.000252. This is the final answer for the transaction, for the total transaction fee. Am I right? Okay, from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So power by 9. Okay, moving on to the top for that. Okay, so this one will become my ether. Okay, measurement in ether. Okay, so that is a part. So next thing, the important, okay, in exam, Last week, I teach you how to transfer. So, transfer money. So, I transfer 0.03 either to your friend, or I transfer the maximum value, the maximum of my money in my wallet to your friend. Does the transaction fee charge according to the amount that I transfer? Yes or no? Again, my question. I transfer a money 0.03. My money either 0.03 to your friend here. They charge me 10 G rate, okay, for example. Then another situation is I transfer this is a 0.03. I transfer 50 either to you. Do you think that the transaction fee that charge to my transaction for 50 either and 0.03 either, the transaction fee are the same or different? Same. Okay? No matter I transfer 50 either or I transfer 0.03 either, as a value that I transfer to your friend, my transaction fee are the same. Get me now? Are the same. Take note down for this important. Why are same? They are not based on what? They are not based on your amount of value you transfer. It's based on your transaction. You execute your code to execute to transfer this 50 either. The execution of the code is the same of the line code that you transfer from 0.03. Get what I mean? Does not mean that you transfer 50 either, you have more execution line. You have more execution lines, transaction line to be executed by the node. No, that is the same code. That is the same code. No matter you transfer 0.03 or you transfer 50 either, still executing the same code. Get me now? Okay? So that is the thing. You just based on your current. Remember, the base fee will be changed one. Okay? Base fee will be changed one. Okay? So this market, as I said, this is your code line. How much they need to consume. So then multiply with the price. Just like I said, your petrol, the car petrol tank. The tank inside this petrol tank, you go from Bendo, from your hometown to KL here, maybe the petrol you need to use is 20 liters. But because of the price, so no matter how, going to from hometown to KL here, 20 liters, that must be used already. Gas consumed. But the price of the petrol is depends on the market rate. Okay? It's not depends on your money that you transfer. Can get idea for that? Okay? So I already discussed for you this thing. Hope in your coming final exam you don't have any problem for this. So the transaction amount, so calculate the amount of the ether that has been burned for this transaction. What does it mean a burn from here? Okay? Calculation start and express the transaction fee that will be burned in the ether. So when you're talking about the burn here, this one is given for your mining, for the validator to speed up the process. The burn process over here, the burn here, is referred to the base only, the base value. It means that you're using the same thing, you're using this value multiplied with the gas only. Okay? Excluded your priority. Okay? So then you go and multiply for this, then this value will be this one multiplied and convert back to the ether. So just a same slightly same formula when the thing called burn fee here is this transaction will be used up. Okay? So that is a part for that. About the burn, all these things like doctor want to cover for you. The difference is just to look for the burn value, you just need to take up your priority. Okay? So this is a part. All this 1, 2, 3, 3 calculation. So if I say that what is the total? This question don't have. Just now I mentioned. Just now I create the example. You see? Just now I said the question, important thing is when we are sending different value, does the transaction fee you charge differently? Answer is no. Transaction fee will be the same. Reason is they are executing the same code. Okay, they don't depend on the value that you are transferring from your wallet to another wallet. So if another thing is, if I go and change this question to become saying that, okay, I want to calculate, let's say I change the question now, I want to calculate the total amount of money will be deducted from the wallet. Okay, when I said that I wanted to calculate the total amount of value will be deducted from the wallet. In this case, you are required to add in your either. So in this example, my either is 0.1. So in this case, I will start with my 0.1 either. 0.1 either in this example. So in this case, I will go and minus. So my answer is 0.100252 either. Okay? If I say that the total amount of money that will be deducted from my account, from your wallet. Okay? So in this case, you need to add up this either that you are transferring. Okay? So a simple calculation and proof to you that where is your base value? Base value is here. Where is the priority value in the real market? Okay, in the real market. For the MetaMask, you can't see this. MetaMask is totally, they help you to count for it and they show it at the back end for that. You get me now? Okay? But in your exam, you need to count it for it. That's why I link it to the portfolio over there. MetaMask from here to show you the base value. How it's going to calculate. Okay? So, any question for this? For the calculation part? For the gas fee calculation? So if no problem, then we are moving on back to our questions over here. So for this particular question here, you wanted to define, he said that you need to modify your exercise number 2 over there, and you wanted to make your program to be simplified. Okay, make your program to be simplified. So previously, go back to your program. So next time we go and download the program that we have been keyed in inside our remix. Last week I forgot to ask you to download for that. Okay? So write back your answer for if you have your answer for solve number 1, exercise number 1 answer, please go and open it. If you don't have, then you need to key in by yourself again. So this is a creator.solve. Okay. So we are using the latest versions already. We don't use the old version. So that's why we have a command called spdx. Okay, license dot identifier. If you have MIT. Okay. So then I make it to be auto compile. So that's why I will go and select this auto compile at the top over here. Okay. So to give me this SPDS, okay? So let me go and have a Prac. Greater than 0.8.0. Okay. So last week we talked about our contract, the contract name called greater, followed for the our program. So then you have a one string variable, okay, call your name. Then over there we go and create our constructor. So you must be knowing that the constructor is only called one time for that. That's why we cannot create as a public, okay? So we only can be we only can have a construct, okay? Constructor, construct. Okay, so hold on. So then we over here we mentioned about later on I check the error. So your name, then I said that hello world. Go and do it because later on I come to your place and do checking one. So then I did mentioning to you that we have a function. One is a set function, as I told you that we need to define a memory. Okay, so revision for that, we need to define a memory and you need to think about what is the parameter name that you wanted to give for this particular function. I define it as a public or external also can. So from that, so I will going to have your name. So you will going to store the value from the name there and pass it in for this part. So now, next thing is you have a function. The last one we had is a get function. This is what we learned on last week. So we said that get function is only for view only. For view purpose access, you do not modify the state variable. So that's why you need to have a view only and you wanted to let front end to able to call this function, and you need to have a return data, and this is a return with the S. So can return more than one parameter. So here you need to have a memory also from this part. So in here you're going to give the return name, your name there. Okay. So now expected identifier. Okay. Sorry. So I should have a constructor.
消写。我说的是要消写。
Like uppercase, okay? Constructor, okay? So that is a part. So this is what we did on last week. Okay? So one correct, they will calculate the gas consumed for the whole thing, construction from that. Okay? So now we have the last week answer, but we continue for our exercise number 2. So exercise number 2 over here, he said that exercise 2 you need to modify your greater dot store in exercise number 1 over that. So first thing over there, he said that you want, why I need to do this exercise number 2? Because I said your back-end code must be simplified. You need to be simplified your back-end code. Okay? So from here, that instead of accessing by using a getting function, declare the state variable using the public. So instead of you calling the function, is that actually you also can be written by remove the function called get function, and you define your name as a public. Okay, so the public is visibility specifier. Is that? Next thing is, instead of you create a constructor to set the default value during a construction, okay, why don't you go and directly initial the value inside your declarations of your variable there. So that's why over here is telling you something can be simplified. Okay, so that's why over here, if you can see the consume of the value over this side, 332000 over that. So now, is that here you make it as a public. So once you make it as a public, okay, so then over here you go and reduce this. You no need to have this line, no need to have this anymore already, and no need to have this. Okay, so that next thing is you don't call constructor. You assign this value over here. Okay. So in this case, you no need to have a constructor over this side. Okay. This is the thing that he mentioned. Okay. For this. Okay. This is a part. Huh? So he wants you to understand the simplified. Next thing, he said that if you think that the value instead of this one is very hard, huh? So this one is mentioned that declare your state variable as a constant, which do not want the user to change this value. So you can remove the set function. So this is totally a different purpose on that because you set function actually you wanted to modify the data. Okay? But he said that if you think that you have a variable which you do not want people to modify the data stored inside the state variable, you can define it as a constant for that. So from this one, we cannot remove our stat, our function. So from here, it says that the constant and the mutability state variable can be declared as a constant, and mutability in both case variable cannot be modified after the contract has been constructed. Constant variable, the value has been fixed at the compiler time, and for immutability, okay, immutable, it can still be assigned at the construction time. So this is a differences between that. Is that compared to the regular state variable, gas cost to the constant and immutability variable are much lower. So this sentence wanted to bring up to you is, you have a state variable. If you have a state variable and you sure that this value, let's say you sure that how the world 1, 2, 3, this data you don't want. No matter how, this data you will go and compile. You want this data to be permanent, okay? And this data will be assigned to your state variable during a compiler time, already fixed during a compiler time, okay? So in this case, you better to make it as a constant, add a constant over that, okay? Second point is, you can save much more gas, okay? Much more, okay? Much lower for the gas cost for the constant, okay? So nothing special for that indeed. So now, I want you using that exercise number 2 and write this exercise. Okay? This exercise, increment. You have one variable. Okay, do this one for 10 minutes. Okay? Do this exercise. Increment and decrement, looking at this. Here they don't have disrupting. telling you that you increase or decrease, you will modify the state variable. 10 minutes to finish this, then I will come to your place. And this one exercise and the exercise number 4 need to be submitted back to your Google Classroom. You should know how to do start already. Okay, you can see this question over here. The purpose of this question is, first thing, they have more than one function there, but over here they don't say that your variable store data, this variable, whether got any initial value or not, they don't have. So, you don't have any default value, do you need to go and create any constructor or not? So in here, I wanted to show you that you may not need to create an explicit constructor. Previous exercise we create an explicit constructor because we wanted to initial our default value hello world 1, 2, 3 inside your game. From here we don't. So that's why you no need to create a constructor because you did not do any initialization value, default value for that. Okay, but the constructor is automatically will be created by default one. You are compile your contract.